Hi everyone, Jean-Pierre from teamtennis.fr and teamtennis.net, former tennis coach in France. In this video, I'm going to make a review of this totally new Wilson tennis racket for 2023, the Wilson Shift 99 300 grams unstrung. First, in this video, I'm testing a new setup for my camera, for my microphone. Let me know in the comments if the quality is good, especially for the sound. Okay, let's go. So I tested this racket with two strings. First, a Luxilon Element, 1.25 millimeters, tension 24 kilograms. And the tension was too high for me. I lacked power, I lacked comfort, I lacked also access to topspin, so I decided to restring the racket with a synthetic gut Prince Duraflex, tension 20 kilograms, and the feelings were much better. More power, better access to topspin, better comfort also. So it's important to remember that the same racket with different strings and especially with different tensions can give totally different feelings. So really pay attention to the tension you use for your strings. So the racket I have here is a prototype that was sent in limited numbers to a set of testers, and each tester had the opportunity to provide Wilson with feedback on their feelings with the racket for possible later modifications. Currently, there are two versions available for sale. There is this version, 300 grams unstrung, and there is also another version, 315 grams unstrung. I show you on the screen the specifications of each racket. Let's focus on the version I have here. So the weight, 300 grams unstrung, very versatile, can be interesting for many players. Balance, 31.5 centimeters unstrung, balance towards the handle. The racket is rather headlight without being extremely headlight. I still feel a bit of weight in the head, in the tip of the racket, but overall the racket is headlight and there is a very good maneuverability with this racket. Swing rate for a strung racket, 320, not very high, very good maneuverability. Head size, it's interesting. 99 square inch, 639 square centimeters. This kind of head size is very rare. At the time of making this video, I have found only two other tennis rackets with this head size. There is the Head Prestige MPL. I like a lot this racket, very close to this one. And there is also the Prokenex Destiny FCS 265 grams unstrung. This racket is different, it's much more lighter, but yet Prestige MPL is rather close to this one. This kind of head size, which is versatile, intermediate between 98 and 100 square inch, is interesting because in my opinion it allows to have an interesting compromise between power and control. It's interesting also to have correct maneuverability without having a head size that is too small. Interesting also to have tolerance, forgiveness, and access to topspin without having at the same time a head size that is too big. String pattern 16 by 20, a bit narrowed. In my opinion, it shows that Wilson wants to give a little control side to the Wilson Shift, which will be a little less powerful than if it had a 16 by 19 string pattern. Beam width 23.5 millimeters, rather thick. It's going to provide stiffness and power to the racket. And talking about the stiffness, there is a value of 68, which is average, a bit high. The same is going to provide power to the racket. So it seems that the goal is to provide with this racket an intermediate level of power, interesting for players with a game style based on power and topspin. I think it's really a good idea from Wilson to offer a relatively versatile tennis racket. I think it was missing among Wilson tennis rackets. It could fill a gap between the Pro Staff, the blades, which are more control-oriented, and the Clash, the Burn, the Ultra, that are more power-oriented. The racket was designed to bend both laterally and vertically to facilitate topspin shots from low to high. Concerning this bending in all directions, it makes me think a bit of the 45 technology present on the Wilson Clash and the blades. However, the sensations are different with the Shift, which I found stiffer than the Clash and the blade and a little less stiff than the Ultra. And concerning the look of the racket, it's quite sober with an original painting, which, like the Wilson blade and the Ultra, changes the color slightly depending on the light, going from a bright white to a slightly bluish color. I find it original and nice. Okay guys, before we continue, for your tennis equipment, I advise you to go at Tennis Warehouse Europe or Tennis Warehouse USA. I have a partnership with these websites and it's very nice from you if you use my affiliate link to buy there. Doing so, you will help me continue the videos I'm doing on YouTube. You can find my affiliate links in the description under the video, and you can also type one of the addresses that appear directly on the video. Thank you very much. Okay, now let's talk about my feelings on the court with the racket, and we are going to start with the power provided by the Wilson Shift. I show you on the screen a comparison in terms of power with some of the rackets maybe you already know. This racket seems to come in terms of power between the less powerful Pro Staff blade and the rather powerful Burn, Ultra, and also Clash. Power isn't very far from the Clash, but I found the Clash a little easier to play, especially the Clash 100, which has a bigger head size, and there is also the 16 by 19 string pattern, which is a bit easier than the 16 by 20, but it's not very far. When testing with the Luxiden Element stretch at 24 kilograms, I clearly lacked power. It will depend, of course, on every player, but personally I lacked power. While when testing with the Prince Duraflex with a tension of 20 kilograms, I had just the right amount of power for my game, even on a serve where I tend to lack power. In terms of technique, I recommend having medium or large swings. It's not very difficult to play with this racket, but it's better at least if you have medium swings, so you don't struggle too much to produce power. There is the original head size of 99 square inch that gives an interesting compromise between control and power. The slightly tighter 16 by 20 string pattern slightly increases the racket control, and the relatively large profile helps provide power. The feeling of power will therefore depend on the string used and its tension, but overall, the racket gives an intermediate level of power with a slight control side. It's rather versatile and will be interesting for many players. Concerning the access to spins, I had very good feelings on my backhand slice, no problems, even with the tension of 24 kilograms. I had a good access to topspin, but a little difficult with the tension of 24 kilograms, and clearly better, and I had a good access to topspin with the tension of 20 kilograms. The 16 by 20 string pattern may reduce topspin access a bit, but with the 99 head size, overall the access to topspin is very good without being extreme. Now concerning the maneuverability of this racket, with the balance located at 31.5 centimeters and strung rather towards the handle, the racket is headlight, and I found the maneuverability very good, without the racket giving a very clear feeling of lightness in the head. You still feel some weight in the head, in the tip of the racket, but not much, and the racket is clearly headlight with a very good maneuverability. I liked the maneuverability on my one-handed backhand, topspin one-handed backhand, also helped by the 99 head size and also by the shape of the head size, which is rather classical and not too rounded. It helps also for the maneuverability. I also liked the maneuverability on the serve, where I was able to have good racket head acceleration despite my racket drop, which is not very deep on my serve. Now concerning the comfort of this racket, I found the damping of vibrations and shocks quite present, very interesting for the comfort, with at the same time rather firm sensations and a bit of stiffness when hitting the ball. But overall, I find that the Wilson Shift gives a very good level of comfort. I like to play with this racket, and at the moment I even continue to play with it, alternating with my usual racket, the Prince Tour 100p, which is very comfortable, a bit more comfortable than this one. So if I can switch between these two rackets easily, it's a good sign concerning the comfort of the Shift. The feeling of comfort also greatly depends on the string and its tension. I had much more comfort during my test with the string stretch at 20 kilograms compared to the string stretch at 24 kilograms. Okay guys, to conclude concerning this racket, I would recommend it to players of an intermediate or advanced level, not for beginners. It's not very difficult to play with this racket, but nevertheless I would not recommend it to beginners. Players who want a racket with an intermediate level of power, with any game style, but rather modern game style, with power, topspin. No need to be extremely powerful to play with this racket. Players with a lot of power may be interested in the Wilson Shift 315 grams that has a tighter string pattern, 18 by 20, that will give more control and also a bit less access to topspin. players who want a good access to topspin without being extreme, players who are looking for a racket with a very good maneuverability, a good level of comfort, slight feeling of firmness and impact, and players who appreciate the Wilson rackets, but maybe who lack power with the blades, the pro staff, and who have too much power with the Clash, the Ultra, the Burn, or who simply don't like the feeling with the Clash. Okay guys, I stop here for this review. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comments very soon in another video. Take care. Bye bye.